Hello beautiful faces, thanks for stopping by, whether you are new or returning. I thought that it would be fun today to talk about fantasy, romantasy and dark romantasy that I have on my radar. So these are like top priority fantasy books that I want to get to hopefully this year or early 2027. Like these are like, before I read any other fantasies, these are kind of the fantasies I really hope that I can get to because I've heard really good things about them. They intrigue me. Out of most other fantasies out there, these are the ones that I have interest in reading the most. So these are, like I said, so some of these might be regular fantasy, but most of them are either romantasy or dark romantasy because we all know that I am a romance girly. And so I love me a good romance. And so without further ado, let's just jump right into it. If you have any interest in seeing what these books are, keep on watching. First of all is both Phantasma and Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. Now some of these books I own physically that I'll speak about in today's video. Some of them I don't, but I decided I'm just going to put the computer generated images up for them all. And I will tell you if I already own these ones yet or not. Now, Phantasma and Enchantra, yes, I do already own these ones. I have huge interest in this. I've been told it's like an adult spicy version of Caraval. Now, this is going to contradict things because I've got zero interest in reading Caraval, like at all. But also, Caraval is young adult, and I don't really do young adult, so... But for some reason I have huge interest in Phantasma and Enchantra, and what I like about it is that it's actually an interconnected standalone series. Now, there are a lot of those that exist, but not in the fantasy genre. Usually interconnected standalones are a very romance and dark romance thing, so it's very interesting to come across a fantasy series, well actually a romantasy series that is like interconnected standalones. So one girl, so Phantasma is about a girl that goes into these games and trials things because her sister has gone into them and she wants to save her sister, and then she meets our MMC who is a phantom, and he's like, yeah, you're not going to survive these games without my help. So it's like the romance between her and the phantom. And then Enchantra is a book that follows that sister and we get her story. I've been told that Phantasma is also a little on the gothic side. Enchantra is not anywhere near as gothic, but it's still like same for same, I think. But I have huge interest in these, and they're also pretty like decently sized. Like they're not fantasies that are gigantic, they're just honestly about the same size as a regular romance, which is why it's also on my radar for that reason as well. Next is Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars by Imani Eru. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm sorry if I've butchered that name. I don't own these ones, but I've seen them everywhere and I want to read it. Again, this is another romantasy series that is not that thick in size. They're about the same size as like a regular sort of romance story, so they're not gigantic. Like, look, it's not that I don't read gigantic books, because I do, but sometimes gigantic books will just intimidate me a little bit. So what really did intrigue me about Heavenly Bodies, besides the fact that I was interested in the plot and everything like that, I was also interested in the fact that it is a lot smaller in size as well. So anything that's a little smaller in size, I'm down for. But yes, I have huge interest in reading it. Heavenly Bodies, I think late last year was when it was like blowing up and stuff, and everybody was reading it and everybody was loving it. So I want to get on the train as well. It just sounds so interesting, like a little on the gothic side, and just, you know, I've been wanting to get into gothic romance as well. Not all gothic romance necessarily has to be fantasy, but a lot of it is, and I really want to read Heavenly Bodies. Like literally everybody loves it, so I want to read it. Next is The Wolf King and the Night Prince. So these are werewolf shifter romances. So not a megaverse, just like werewolf shifters. Think Jacob from Twilight, how he could like turn into a literal werewolf. That is what I've heard that this is about. Now this again, The Wolf King It's everywhere. Oh my god, everyone is reading The Wolf King. Now, I own The Wolf King. I don't own The Night Prince. I'm going to read The Wolf King first and see if I like it, and then if I like it, I will go and buy The Night Prince. But I doubt I'm going to dislike The Wolf King, because it just sounds very up my alley. Wolf shifters. I love anything that's about werewolves. I mean, look, personally, I am a bit of an Omegaverse girly, and this is not Omegaverse. But I still love werewolves. Like, I'll just read anything as long as there's werewolves in it, because I don't know, I like werewolves. They're probably my next favourite. If I had to, like, rank mythical creatures, vampires are number 1, but werewolves are number 2. Like vampires only just above, because I love me some werewolves. So I've heard very good things about The Wolf King. This is another one. Like, everyone was reading it. So I really want to read The Wolf King as well. I have literally not seen a singular bad review for The Wolf King. Next is a book duo. Now, I've got no idea what it's about, but I want to read it because everyone is obsessed about it. But the second book in the duology is dividing a lot of people. So, Jasad Heir and Jasad Crown. Everybody loves Jasad Heir. Jasad Heir was a book that everyone was reading and everyone was loving. There were no bad reviews for it. Then Jasad Crown came out. And it was very like, some people loved it. Some people hated Jasad Crown, and it ruined the duology for them. I know Mariana from the Big Three. She loved Jasad Heir, but she hated Jasad Crown. So for some reason, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to read it. Now the books, oh my god, the books are gigantic. But it's just a little duo. So, and I don't even really know what it's about. But sometimes, you know what? I like going into books blind. I don't want to know what it's about. I just want to read it and see what I think. And I love a cute little duology, so. Speaking of duologies, also semi-speaking about books, I've got no idea what it is about, but I want to read it anyway. The Court of Ravens duet by Liv Zander. This is like a pitch black, dark romantasy about like the MMCs can turn into birds, like ravens. They can turn into birds. And it's like really dark and messed up and twisted. And I love me a dark romance. So a dark romance with some fantasy elements in there. Oh, I'm reading it. I am reading it because I just have huge interest in reading it. It sounds so cool. Again, I don't like specifically, you know what it's about. And I don't own them. But I just see it everywhere. People that love dark romance are reading it. Like, it's very, if you are a dark romance reader and you want to start getting into fantasy, The Court of Ravens duet is kind of what everyone suggests that you read. And I read a bit of everything. Like, I read dark romance, but I already read fantasy. But I want to read The Court of Ravens duet because I've just heard so many good things. So many good things about it. Like, and you know what? If you want to talk dark romantasy, I don't think I've read one. I've read regular romantasy, and I love it, but I don't think I've ever read a dark romantasy. So, yeah, we're definitely reading it. I also want to read Nocticadia by Kerry Lake. Now, this is a standalone. This is a gothic romance. I think there's a little bit of magic in this one. I don't know if it's like fantasy, but I know that it is like gothic romance. I think there's a little bit of magic in there, so I'm including it in this video because of that. It's also, I think, a teacher-student romance as well. Like, she gets with her professor, which I don't read a ton of that stuff. I haven't really had an opportunity to read a ton of that stuff, though. So, you never know. I might love it, which is why I've put it in this list. I do heavily want to read Nocticadia because it is just a standalone. So, one and done, have your fun, no need to read anything else. And you know what? Fantasy standalones, just like fantasy interconnected standalones, are very hard to come by. Aren't that many. Most people, because, you know, you create an entire universe, right? I think this is what must go through authors' heads. I could be wrong, but this is just like, let me speculate, right? You create an entire universe. You create your own magic system. You have a way that your universe works. Does your universe have government? Is your universe an urban or historical or something with witches, or is it something with vampires, or, you know, is it just more paranormal? Like, you create this, because like with fantasy, you create your own world and you can do whatever you like. I think a lot of authors don't want to go through all that trouble for just one singular book. So it's usually always a series, because they go through all the trouble of creating not only a book, but an entire universe. So they don't just want to waste that on one book. So fantasy standalones, very hard to come by. But I want to read Nocticadia because that is like a fantasy standalone. So I have huge interest in Nocticadia. Nocticadia is another book, yet again, I see 0 bad reviews for it. 0 bad reviews for it. I also really want to heavily get into Greek mythology because I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller and I loved it. Now that wasn't a fantasy. However, 2 book series that I want to get into are Greek mythology romanticies. So first is The Game the Gods Play. I totally forget who is the author, but you'll see on the photo I put up. Now, there's a second book called The Things Gods Break, and then there's going to be a third and final book that comes out, I think, this year. Anyways, The Games Gods Play, I've heard it's Greek mythology, make it romantasy. I want to read it because I want to get into more Greek mythology because I just adored The Song of Achilles. Now, I know that something that The Games Gods Play is going to be different from The Song of Achilles because there's like a fantasy element and there is more romance and probably smart. But I still want to read it because I just really want to get into Greek mythology. Now, the other Greek mythologies I want to get into, these are why I choose Greek mythology romanticies, which is Blood of Hercules and Bond of Hercules by Jasmine Mas. Now, I think this is just a duology, I believe. I don't think there's anything else. I think it's just a duology. And I want to read it so bad because I just hear so many good things. So many good things about, like, Bonds of Hercules. No, Blood of Hercules came first. Bonds of Hercules is the second book in the duo. So basically, I think it's a girl. I think she gets with either 2 or 3 guys. I'm not entirely sure. Again, Greek mythology, make it romantasy, make it smutty, make it white shoes. I kind of really wanted to. I heard that there is also like a games and trials element to this, so I would be very interested to see what I think about it. Games and trials I'm a little bit iffy about because it is getting to the point where like everybody is adding games and trials at this point. Like it's getting a little overdone. However, I think that other elements of the book will make me enjoy it, and I can, you know, overlook the games and trials things. And who knows, they might do games and trials in a really good way and then I end up loving it. You never know. Next, I want to read another book duo. I think it's a duo or maybe a trio. It is a dark vampire romance. I see this like everywhere with dark romance readers and I need to read this pronto. It is called, I think the first book is called Blood Orange and then the second one is called Bloody Heart or Black Heart by Karina Halley. Oh my god, I need to read these immediately. I see blood orange everywhere in the dark romance space. Kind of like the Quarter Ravens duet. Like if you like dark romance but you want to add like a paranormal element to it. I hear that this is more paranormal, not necessarily fantasy. If you want a paranormal element to your dark romances, you need to read both Blood Orange and then I think it's Black Heart or Bloody Heart or something along those lines. I'm going to put the photo up and you can see. I want to read these so bad. I love vampires. Vampires are my favourite mythical creatures. I literally have a crush on vampires. I love them so much. I don't know why. I am just so attracted to vampires. I am just heavily attracted to vampires. See, this was the issue when I was watching the Twilight movies growing up. I thought that Taylor Lautner was hotter than Robert Pattinson, but I liked vampires over werewolves, so it was very difficult for me to choose a team. I used to always just say that I was Team Edward because I like vampires more than I do werewolves. But in real life, would I have chosen Taylor Lautner or Robert Pattinson? I would have chosen Taylor Lautner. I don't really think that Robert Pattinson is that good looking. No offense to any Robert Pattinson lovers out there, like, cool, whatever, but he's not for me. Taylor Lautner's for me, though. Oh, we love me some Taylor Lautner. You know what's so funny? He literally married a girl called Taylor. So it's literally Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner. That's hilarious. Apparently he's going to be a dad soon because he put a photo up on his Instagram and goes, you know what's better than 2 Taylor Lautners? I thought if they have a kid and name it Taylor, it's kind of going to be both hilarious and iconic. I am getting a little off topic, but I really do want to read this Blood Orange and Black Heart. Oh my god, I've heard so many good things. Oh, I need to read it. I need like dark romantasy, like dark paranormal recommendations because yes, please. Now, speaking of Twilight, I never actually read the Twilight books. I have not read the Twilight books. I've only ever watched the movies. Now, I've read a lot of the like young adult fantasy and romantasy and like dystopian and paranormal stuff that was like taking over. I read The Maze Runner. I read The Hunger Games. I tried reading Divergent. I ended up DNFing it because I actually really disliked that series. And I've read Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter later in life, but I can say I've read Harry Potter and things like that. Twilight seemed to just, I don't know, go over my head. For some reason, I just never read Twilight. I don't know why. I really want to. It's in this list because I really, really want to. But for some reason, I just never read Twilight. I can't tell you why. Because I was basically on the ball and read all of the others. I just never read Twilight. I don't know why. I just never did. But I have huge interest in it because I love the Twilight movies. I just went on a whole spiel about how much I love vampires and werewolves. And Twilight has both vampire characters and werewolf characters in it. So, I think we're just going to read Twilight. Next is Zodiac Academy. Oof, this is like the biggest series in today's video with some like thick and chunky books. But I need to read Zodiac Academy immediately. I have heard it's not the world's best written. I've heard that it's like fantasy reality television, which, you know what? Look, I do not watch reality television like at all. Sometimes I'll watch variety shows that K-pop idols have been in or BL actors have been in. But like I don't watch reality television or competition shows. Like I'm not a MasterChef or The Block. Or Maths. I really dislike all those sorts of shows. However, for some reason I want to read Zodiac Academy. It's like, I think it is dark romantasy. I know that there's a bully element to it, especially in like the first 2 books, because they start out as a bully romance and then it goes from there. But I've just heard really good things about it. And it has like every mythical creature under the sun. Like there's werewolves and there's vampires, but then there's fae and other, fairies. Basically any mythical creature that you can think of, it is in this book. So I really, really want to read Zodiac Academy. I hear so many good things about it. So yeah, I hear just as many bad reviews as I do good reviews, but I still want to read Zodiac Academy. Rightio, that is it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up. Let me know which one of these I need to get on to pronto. Rightio, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Okay.